A very good morning, children. In the previous class, I had completed lesson 8 from your supplementary reader book, that was the hack driver. Now, moving to the next lesson, today I'm going to start lesson 9 from the same book, Footprints Without Feet, and it is Bholi, written by K.A. Abbas. Okay, so you can see over here Bholi. uh, it seems very common as the Hindi word Bholi, isn't it? So actually that is Hindi word only, Bholi, and in English if we want to translate, that is innocent, isn't it? That girl is so innocent, or वो बहुत भोली है, likewise we used to say, isn't it? So let's we deal with this beautiful story conveying a very beautiful lesson, moral lesson, especially to the girls. Okay, that how an innocent girl named Sulekha. Okay, and why the name is Bholi? Because that girl was so innocent. So this whole story revolves around that girl Sulekha, and the people used to call her by the nickname Bholi. So let's come to know what's there in the lesson about that innocent girl Bholi. Now, coming to the book, children, as you know, I will be explaining you paragraph wise, and we will be discussing the difficult words too. So, coming to the chapter, from her very childhood, Bholi was neglected at home. Why did her teacher take special interest in her? Did Bholi measure up to her teacher's expectations? So, these are few questions. For the answer, we have to deal the chapter and be with me throughout the lesson. Okay, children? So, now her name was Sulekha, but since her childhood, everyone had been calling her Bholi, the simpleton. She was the fourth daughter of Nambardar Ramlal. When she was 10 months old, she had fallen off the cot on her head, and perhaps it had damaged some part of her brain. That was why she remained a backward child and came to be known as Bholi the simpleton. Means what? Actually, that girl's actual name was Sulekha, and what had happened since her childhood only, everyone used to call her by the name Bholi. Okay, the simpleton. Simpleton means a foolish person who can be easily tricked by others. Okay, means comparatively less intelligent than others, so everyone can be fool them by playing the tricks, isn't it? So that is simpleton. That's why Bholi was the girl who can be easily fooled or tricked by others. And she was the fourth daughter of Nambardar Ramlal. Nambardar means an official who collects the revenue and all. Okay, government employee. In the village and all, you know, there are the Nambardars who used to collect the revenue. So Ramlal, Bholi's father, was the Nambardar in that village, and Bholi was the fourth daughter of Ramlal. And when she was only 10 months old, she had fallen off from her bed. Cot means bed, and that injured little bit her head, and that's why everyone thinks that it had damaged some parts of her brain. Okay, and that's why she remained a backward child. Backward in the mean that less intelligent than other children of her age, and that's why she was named as Bholi. Okay, that is the simpleton. Simpleton, I told you, a person who can be easily fooled or tricked by others. At birth, the child was very fair and pretty, but when she was 2 years old, she had an attack of smallpox. Only the eyes were saved, but the entire body was permanently disfigured by deep black poke marks. Little Sulekha could not speak till she was 5, and when at last she learned to speak, she stammered. The other children often made fun of her and mimicked her. As a result, she talked very little. So, children, some of you might have gone across this type of children or friends. I hope so that, okay. So what happened with this innocent girl Sulekha? At the birth only, the child was very fair. She was so beautiful and so pretty looking, okay. But when she turned to 2 years, she got an attack of smallpox. Many of you might have also faced this, children, the attack of smallpox. It can be at any age nowadays, not in only in the early ages, but now in I used to see in the schools during the exam times only, many children we see suffering from smallpox, and really it creates a lot problem also, okay. So her eyes were only saved because of that, and the entire body was disfigured, means spoiled by that deep black poke marks means that marks of smallpox only, okay. So it sometimes leaves marks on the body, okay, if you have seen. And this little Sulekha, she couldn't speak even till she was 5, okay. So at the age of 5 also she was not able to speak, and most probably the children start speaking at the age of 2 years, and nowadays they start even at the age of 1.5 also, okay. So and when at last she learned to speak, okay, after 5 years age, she stammered, she couldn't speak fluently, okay, she couldn't speak fluently, she used to stammer. And the other children, obviously they used to make fun of her. The children, they don't have that much knowledge and sense, okay, that if they make fun of others it may hurt others. They don't have, they are children means the innocent ones. So the other children, they used to make fun of the Bholi when she stammered while talking, and even mimicked her means imitated her, okay. When she used to stammer, other children used to imitate, copy her, and as a result she talked. That's why this girl, she didn't talk much, and she talks very little. Ramlal had 7 children, 3 sons and 4 daughters, and the youngest of them was Bholi. It was a prosperous farmer's household, and there was plenty to eat and drink. All the children except Bholi were healthy and strong. The sons had been sent to the city to study in schools and later in colleges. Of the daughters, Radha, the eldest, had already been married. The second daughter, Mangala's marriage had also been settled, and when that was done, Ramlal would think of the third, Champa. They were good looking, healthy girls, and it was not difficult to find bridegrooms for them. But Ramlal was worried about Bholi. She had neither good looks nor intelligence. Hope so. It's given in very simple language, children. That Ramlal had overall 7 children. It is the story of the village and of the early time. So you know, during that time, in every house we find a number of children those days. So out of these 7, 3 sons, and he had 4 daughters, and the youngest, the smallest one was Bholi, okay. And he was very prosperous farmer, means progressive one. He was earning well in his farming, okay. And they had plenty to eat and drink, means they lead a very good life, okay. And sufficient food they had at home, and everything was well in their home. All the children except Bholi were healthy and strong, but um, what happened, unfortunately, the Bholi only was quite weak, and she was not strong like all other children of Ramlal, okay. She was unhealthy also, she was little weak also. And as you also know, children, in the early times discrimination was very prevalent in all the houses between the sons and the daughters. So here also the same, Ramlal had sent all his sons to the city to study in good schools, and then they got the chance to study in colleges also. And but the daughters, on the other hand, Okay, they never got the chance to study. And among the daughters, Radha was the eldest daughter who already had been married, and the second daughter's name was Mangala, and her marriage was also settled. Okay, means she was also going to get married, and when her marriage would complete, then Ramlal would again start thinking about Champa, who was the third daughter. Okay, so actually all these three daughters were very good looking, beautiful, and they were quite strong and healthy girls. Okay, so it was not difficult for Ramlal to find out the bridegrooms for them. Okay, but Ramlal was very much worried about Bholi. Why? Because she never looked good, and she was also not intelligent. Okay, she was a simpleton. As I told you, simpleton means who can be easily fooled and tricked by others. Okay, and you know what was the reason. Now, Bholi was 7 years old when Mangala was married. The same year, a primary school for girls was opened in the village. The Tehsildar Sahib came to perform its opening ceremony. He said to Ramlal, as a revenue official, you are the representative of the government in the village, and so you must set an example to the villagers. You must send your daughters to school. That night, when Ramlal consulted his wife, she cried, are you crazy? If girls go to school, who will marry them? Now, when Bholi, she turned 7 years old, okay, that time Mangala, the third daughter, she got married, isn't it? And in the same year, when Bholi was 7 years old, that year itself, a primary school was opened in that village now for girls specially. As till then there were no schools for girls, that's why they were not sent to school. And who came to do the opening ceremony? The Tehsildar Sahib, the superior of that government official, as you might have heard, okay, of the village. He came to the opening ceremony, and he suggested Ramlal that you are a government official here, you are the revenue official, okay, and you are the representative of the government, you are representing government, and in the village, so you must set an example to all the villagers that girls also should be sent to school for education. So you only start sending your daughters to school so that others may get an example that if this man who is the representative of government can send, then why can't others? Okay, so he was asked to send his daughters to school. And that night when Ramlal reached home, he consulted from his wife, but his wife just said in loud voice that has he gone crazy, means mad, means the lady wanted to say that if the girls starts going to school, then who will marry them? Okay, because in those days, you also know very well, children, okay, girls education was completely ignored and neglected, and it was said that they can only do the household works and only the boys can do study and do all the works outside. Okay, so this was the same thinking of that family here. So but Ramlal had not the courage to disobey the Tehsildar. At last his wife said, I will tell you what to do. Send Bholi to school. As it is, there is a little chance of her getting married. With her ugly face and lack of sense, let the teachers at school worry about her. So now Ramlal, he couldn't deny or disobey the Tehsildar. Why? Because Tehsildar was the superior officer. Okay, and anyhow he has to follow his instructions. He can't deny that. Okay, so his wife also agreed now, and she asked Ramlal to send Bholi to school. Okay, and what was the reason she gave? That maybe there may be a little chance of her getting married if she goes to school, because she has her ugly face. Okay, what was the reason? Because of the chicken pox, all her face and body got spoiled, isn't it? And she was little less in intelligence than other children. So she thought that let the teachers worry now about her, that what to do with Bholi in the school. The next day, Ramlal caught Bholi by the hand and said, "Come with me, I will take you to school." Bholi was frightened. She did not know what a school was like. She remembered how a few days ago their old cow, Lakshmi, had been turned out of the house and sold. "No, no, 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 no," she shouted in terror and pulled her hand away from her father's grip. See, now what happens? The next day, Ramlal, he caught his daughter's hand, Bholi's hand, and said that, "Come, let's go to school. Okay, I will send you to school." But Bholi, she got afraid of that. Okay, why? What was the reason? Because she did not know what a school was like. She never heard about school. She had never seen it also. So she was frightened that where my father is going to take me. And another reason was that she remembers that how few days ago only they had one cow named Lakshmi, and that cow had been turned out, okay, taken out of the house, and it was sold. That cow never came back to home. So this girl also got terrified whether she also was going to be sent anywhere and she won't come back home or what. Okay, this was the reason. Now that's why she didn't agree, and she was saying no, no. She was shouting in terror. She, in great fear, she was shouting, and she pulled away her hand from her father's grip. When means she wanted that her father should leave her anyhow. "What's the matter with you, you fool?" shouted Ramlal. "I'm only taking you to school." Then he told his wife, "Let her wear some decent clothes today, or else what will the teachers and the other schoolgirls think of us when they see her?" So, when Bholi behaved in such a way, she was shouting and she was taking away her hand from Ramlal's hand, her father's hand. Then Ramlal also got a little bit angry and he shouted, "You fool! What's the matter? Why are you shouting likewise? Okay, I'm just taking you to school, nowhere else." Okay, and then he asked his wife that let her wear some decent clothes, okay, beautiful clothes, because the clothes she was wearing was a little bit worn out one, or otherwise what will the teachers and the other schoolgirls think of us when they see her? Means what will be our impression there? I am a government official, revenue collector, and seeing that Ramlal's daughter in such a situation, okay, what others will think about? Means this is the matter of Ramlal's prestige now, that what others will think, all the teachers and the other girls, when they see her in that way, okay, in that dirty and shabby way. So let's stop over here, children, today. Next I will continue further in the next class. Till then, goodbye and have a nice day.